Hello everyone. So now, today we are going to cover after. So if you were in our previous talk, before this break that we have had, we had a presentation about dual screen development, no, foldable development, where we were showing the Surface Duo device, where we saw as well the different UX and UI patterns that we have for dual screen devices. Some things to have in consideration, and also we saw how to enhance our app in order to take advantage of what dual screen devices offers to you, no? Like having two screens side by side, more area to do things, more multitask, having one app in one side and another app in another side, and so on. So now what we are going to see is we are going to see basically it's just live coding in this workshop. What we are going to see is how we can enhance our app in order to take advantage of that. So what we're going to do is we are going to create a simple app, super basic app, that it has just a list of items, and every time that you tap on an item, we show like the detail view, and that's all. So super simple, super basic. We are going to implement that. That will work good for single screen devices and new form factor devices as Surface Duo is. And then what we are going to proceed later is to enhance this app in order that the UX and UI, when the app is spanned, so if you were not in the previous talk, in our previous talk, when I say span is when the app is spanned across both displays. So when our app is just, we have just one app that takes advantage of both screens at the same time. How we can achieve that? What we have to do is just is a user interaction where we move the app from single screen mode to the middle, to where the hinge is located, and then we have our app span across the screens. We are going to see a code, and we are going to use a code repository, as you can see here in this link. We are going to follow that. We are going to implement that, and we are going to follow that. So in the case, so you can work with us, and at the same time, we are going to implement that, so you can do that as well. Or if you want later to have a look at how the code looks, it's already there, it's already shared, so you can go there. This is the QR code as well. I can give you 3 seconds, and just in case you didn't check the link before, and then we can proceed. Okay. In this sample app that we have in our GitHub repo, it has 5 branches, and in these 5 branches, what we follow is like the different steps for this workshop. The different steps will be like just the project structure, then this starting point. This starting point is where we are going to start. So we are going to start coding from here. If you want to follow us, check out this branch. So pull the code, check out this branch, and then you can do the same things that I'm going to do. As you can see here, when you run the app in this branch, it's just an empty app. It's just a frame layout that is empty, no content, nothing. Okay. Then we are going to code, and we are going to implement a super basic, simple list item app as the one that I'm showing here. That basically is just a list of items, as you can see in the top left screen. And then when you tap on an item, we show the super basic content from that item, as you can see in the top right screen. But as you can see here, both top screens, the app is running in single screen mode, just in one screen. Of course, the app is running as well. It can work as well in a single screen device, single screen emulator. But when the app is spanned, and so as I said before, when the app is spanned across displays, you see here in the bottom screenshot that the app doesn't look really well, no? So we want to improve that. We want to enhance our app. We want to offer our users a better UX and UI experience, a more adjusted experience to the device that they currently have, as the Surface Duo or any other foldable device. Once that we have finished the work, for the single screen app, what we are going to do is then, as I said before, enhancing the app. And then here is in this branch, dual screen branch, where you have already everything implemented. As you can see here now, the app looks now much better. It follows the list detail pattern that Bianca explained it before in the previous talk. And we saw the information in a better way for our users when the users have the app span. No? And for instance, this is a pattern that many apps are using, like Outlook, like Microsoft To Do and others. Oh, and last thing that we are going to see is how to implement simple dual screen UI tests. So we believe that testing is also super important, and we want also that your test is covered as well when your app is designed for dual screen scenarios. So we are going to see also that. For Q&A, so feel free to ask questions anytime using the chat area that is Slido. Bianca will be there, maybe other members as well of the Surface Duo DevX team will be there and try to answer the question as I'm coding. And then, of course, if we have time at the end, that I believe we will have, then also we can have a Q&A round. Okay, so now we are going to start. I'm going now to stop sharing this PowerPoint. Okay. And now I'm going to share my desktop. This one. Perfect. I believe everything is clear now. Perfect. I think, Bianca, you see the browser, right? Perfect. Okay, super. So, well, before we start, I wanted to show you the docs. We have a lot of different documentation about everything regarding Surface Duo development and dual screen development. So here is our main site where you can, for instance, download and install the Surface Duo emulator. We have many things here. We also have like release notes, a section also for troubleshooting. Then also here we have specific for Kotlin and Java. So for instance, we have here our hinge sensor, the API. We have also dual screen documentation regarding our dual screen libraries. As for instance, I mentioned before the Surface Duo layout. So you have here the docs. So for instance, here is actually this is the component that we are going to use as well for this workshop. And yeah, so please feel free to go here. We work hard on getting always docs updated and also our code. And we are currently working on many updates and also in new different libraries. So yeah, please check this site from time to time. And then last thing I wanted to show you is what I said before. So here is the repo that we are going to use. As I said before, we have 5 different branches. This is the main one that contains everything. Then single starting point where we are going to start coding, single screen mode that has already the app implemented for single screen mode, and then dual screen branch that has already the app enhanced for dual screen capabilities, and then the final branch is UI test where we also implement dual screen test. Okay, that's all. Now we are going to start coding. Okay, what we are going to, so as I said before, and you saw in the screenshot, we are going to see we are going to implement as super basic list item apps that when it's in single screen mode, it's a list item apps, you tap on an item and you open the detail view. How is the architecture that is going to be behind that? Super basic. This is a workshop, this is a sample. So, but we want to do it somehow correct because we believe that good practices also, they have to exist always. So for that reason, what we are going to follow is just we are going to have one activity with 2 fragments. One fragment is going to be for the list items or the list of items, and another fragment, we are going to use it for the detail view. So when the user tap on an item, we will show the detail view. Okay, so having said that, we are going to start coding. So I want to show you also first what we currently have in the starting point branch. That is where we are going to start, as I said before. And basically, what we have already implemented is the project structure, so that we don't spend time now doing the basic things. And then, important, the recycler view stuff. That usually takes always a lot of time to do it. We don't want to spend time on that. So what we have here is basically we have an item, super basic data class that we are going to use our content, our data set. Our data set is going to be a list of these items. So they have just a number, an integer, and a body that is a string. Then we have the adapter already implemented with on create view holder, on bind view holder, and so on. Then we have the item view holder, and that's all. And that's basically all. And then we have the main activity that is you see here, nothing here, it's just basically empty. And then when we tap on the activity main, what we have is the frame layout. If we run the app on the Surface Duo device on a Pixel emulator, Surface Duo emulator and Pixel emulator, what we are going to see then is just, as we have seen before in the agenda PowerPoint presentation, is just empty frame layout as we see here. Okay, so let's going to start. We are going to then to start creating the components or to create the simple app. So for that, we are going to use the fragment container view. Since we are going to use a fragment container view because it's a better way to place your different fragments, no? To operate with fragments, and here we are going to give just an ID. Okay, and then the ID is going to be fragment container. Okay, it's fragment container. Fragment container. Perfect. Okay, that's all. Here we don't have to do anything. Just we have changed the view that we were using. We have added the ID. That's all. And here in the main activity, so what we are going to do here is to, when the app starts, then we want to show the list items fragment with the content. So what we do here then is to replace to use the container and to add the fragment, the list item fragment. So begin transaction, and then here we do replace RID fragment container, and then with items list fragment. We haven't created yet the fragment. We will do after this, and then we just commit. Okay, that's all easy. We start the app. The app enters here, and then we replace. We replace in the fragment container. We use this. We allocate this item, this fragment. Okay, now we are going to create the fragment here. Okay. And then one second. Okay, perfect. So here item list fragment stems from fragment. Perfect. And then here, what we are going to do then is to declare the different variables that we are going to use in order to operate with our recycler view. So, for instance, init bar recycler view, recycler view. Okay, private init bar my adapter. That is going to be our items adapter that we have created before and is in the recycler view package. And then the last thing here, we are going to create to declare the my view layout. That is a recycler view layout manager. Okay, perfect. Now in onCreate view, view, now is where we are going then to do things with our UI. View, then inflated, inflate, RID, layout, list items layout, container, and false. Okay. Now we are going to initialize the variables that we have. So for instance, for my adapter, we do items adapter. And then as you see here, items adapter expects an array of items. So this is going to be our data set. And then on a function, it's just a function that will be invoked when the user taps on an item. Okay, so we have to provide that. So first thing that we are going to do is here, we are going to create the dataset, private val dataset, array, array of, then here item, the item that we declared before, that basically is just accepting, the parameters are just an integer and a string. So in this case, this is number 1. So super easy. We are going to have 10 items. I don't know, it's already 10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we do here the same. As you can see here, super basic stuff. We are not doing rocket science. Super basic, everything clear for us and for you as well. Okay, so now we already have the data set, and now we are going to, we need to pass the function, no, that we are going to use. So on click listener. Okay, and that's all for my adapter. Here we can already create the function, so we don't have this fragment. Okay, it's here already. Now it's tuned for the view layout. That is going to be recycler view. No, linear layout, manager, and then require context. Okay, and then the recycler view. Finally, we have here, and then view, find view by ID, recycler view, RID, list items. We go here. Exactly, we are correct. It's the recycler view. As you see here, the layout of the items fragment is just the recycler view. That's all. Okay, so we are fine. And then here we do apply, and then we are going to initialize the recycler view with the adapter that we have created, also the layout. So for instance, here in the adapter, we just pass the adapter that we created, and then layout manager, we just pass as well my view layout. And then since we have also a closed data set with just 10 items that is not going to change, then we can do also set has fixed size with true. Okay, and then we just return the view, and I believe we will be fine already for the onCreate view. Okay, then next thing that we have to do is to implement onClick listener. So as I said before, this function is going to be used, it's going to be invoked as well when the user taps on an item. And when the user taps on an item, what we want to do is then to replace, to show the detailed view fragment. So then is here where we do that. So we do activity, check if it's not null, and then run. And then what we do here is the support fragment manager. We begin the transaction. Then we replace the fragment container that we have with the detail view fragment. Okay, and then the last thing is we just commit the operation, and that's all. We will be fine to go. Okay, but as you can see here, we have to implement the detail view fragment because we didn't have implemented yet. So now we are going to do it. New. Okay. Okay, and then we do it. Detail view fragment. Okay, and here in onCreate view is where we set up as well the UI, val view, and then inflate, inflate. Okay, and here sadly we don't have the XML, this XML for the XML of the detail view fragment. So then we are going to implement it as well. So here, exactly. So detail view layout. Yeah, perfect. Oh, my bad. It's not that. But we want to create an XML. layout resource file. Okay. We are not going to use the constraint layout because this is too much for our super basic, super simple layout, and I find more comfortable using a linear layout for this. So then we are going to provide the ID. With the ID, we are going to call detail view layout, or detail view, that's all, view, because the layout is already defined. And then here we are going to provide the orientation. We want that it has a vertical orientation. And now we also want that the content is center. Okay. So here, what we do here, so as you can remember from before, we have just a super basic item, and the item just has an integer and a string. So what we want to show the information in the detail view is just that information, the integer and the string. So we just need two text views. Okay, so then we are going to give it a proper name, Android ID, and then it's a detail, a number, for instance. And then here we do wrap content as well. We are going to give it a size, something big, I don't know, 40 sp, Android text style, bold, and then we are going to also to use the tools namespace because we want to also see it before in the design view. So now we can do this, tools, text, and number X. Okay, and then and also we want to provide as well some margin, like for instance 10 dp. Okay, this will be fine. And now we are going to do the same for the body of the item, for the string. So Android ID, Android ID. Okay, and then detail body. Okay, then with transparent, for instance, wrap content, and then Android text size 30 sp, Android text style, no, bold is fine. Then here we can also provide some margin, 10 dp, and then also tools text. This is number X. Okay, I believe that will be fine. Let's see in the view. Okay, then to look it better now, what we are going to do is just grab content, and that's all. Okay, so as you can see here, super basic layout. We have one text view that is going to be used to show the integer of the item, and another text view that is going to be used to show the body of the item. That's all. Okay, now we already have the detail view layout, so it's time now to use it here. So ID, layout, detail view layout, container, and then false. Okay. And then here is where, so the detail view, we want that the detail view shows the information that they use from the item that the user tapped on before, no? So here, to pass this information from the fragment, from the list item fragment to this detail view fragment, we have different ways. We can use the activity to communicate both. We can use even bash pattern. We can use many things. But we are going to use, and actually it's pretty cool from the Jetpack set of libraries, is the view model. Because the view model is going to make our life super easy in terms of it's going to keep the content that we use for this view model, for this view model, and we don't have to cycle because the view model is going to address already that, so we don't have to worry about complicated things. So for that, we are going to use a view model to store the data. Okay, so since we don't have yet a view model, what we have to do then is to create a new view model. So we do here, share view model, And then the view model, what is going to have is going to just stem from view model, and it's going to have just a val selected item that is a mutable live data of item, and that's all. So for more information, please, regarding view models or mutable of live data, please check the official docs. They are really good, and you can learn also. Google has many code labs regarding those libraries, so you can learn a lot from them. Okay, so now we have already the view model implemented, and what we are going to do here is to use this view model. Well, first, we have already implemented view model, and now we want to populate the view model. Okay, so for that, what we do here is in the fragment, we are going to declare the instance of the view model that we are going to use. So private val set view model by activity view models. Okay. Maybe it's not this one. Oh, sorry. The type set view model by activity view models. Okay. Okay, we have already a set view model, and now it's time. So we want. So the adapter is the one that interacts with our item. So then we want to give this functionality to the actor that has to interact with that. No, so in our case, it's the adapter. So what we do here then is to pass the view model that we have created to the items adapter. In the items adapter here, what we do then is private val set view model. We have it now as parameter. And what we do here is when we invoke the layout set on click listener is when the user has already tapped on an item. So it's here where we are going to populate the view model. So set view model, selected item, value, and then item. Okay, and with this information, the set view model already has the info, has already the current item that the user has clicked on, and then it's here in the detail view fragment where we can have a look to it. So for that, we have to do exactly the same that we did in the items list fragment. So private val set view model by activity view models. Okay, and then here we are going to observe the view model. We are going to observe the selected item. So observe, yep. So this was view lifecycle owner, and then here observer, a type. The object that we are going to observe is an item, and then with that we are saying, if you are not used to view models, that we are going to be always observing to changes in the view model. So every time that the view model has new content, this we will be aware of that, and then we can do things. So now inside of the set view model is where we can use this information that the view model contains to populate the data, or to populate our UI. So then what we do is view, and then find view by ID, text view, and then RID, detail, number, text. So what we are doing is just adding the item number or item integer to the text view. So for that, and then number. Since number is an integer, we have to just do this to string. And then we do the same for the body. So find view by ID is also a text view. RID detail body, the same text. Oops. And then it body, and since body is a string, it's fine. We are fine to go. And then we return the view. Okay, and I believe we have finished here in the detail view fragment. We go to the items list view fragment, items list fragment. Now we have already this, and then the main activity that before we had the problem is also now working fine. So I believe that now we can try to execute the app. And remember that what we were building here is just an app designed for single screen devices. So we haven't taken into account anything regarding dual screen, Surface Duo, foldables, anything, just as you have been doing till now. Okay, we run the app. Okay, it's executing. Okay. As you can see here, then, so this is the Surface Duo emulator, and this is a pixel emulator, as we have seen before. So here, now we have the list of items. So this is the list items fragment that we implemented. When we tap on an item, it shows the detail view fragment with the information. Okay, then we go back. Oh, I missed one thing. We were not back to the item list view fragment because I forgot here in the item list fragment to add to the backstack. Detailed view. Okay. And this should work now. Same for multiple devices. Okay, perfect. So we can now tap in an item. This is the detail of the item. We click back. Now it's fine. It works well. 6, 1, fine. Okay, now let's do the same in the Surface Duo emulator. So 5 is fine. We do the gesture of back. Number 7, fine. Number 1, fine. Okay, now we are going to expand the app. So I'm going to do the gesture that is going to take the app from single screen mode to expand mode. I'm going to do this. You never have seen this, so this is what we do. So single screen mode, I drag from the handle, and then I put in the middle. It has this animation, this overlay. Then I release my finger, and then now the app is running in expand mode across multiple displays. And as you can see here, the app doesn't look good. So I mean, the app is not nice at all, but this is even worse, no? Because here we have items that they take the whole width of both the screens. There is some content hidden by the hinge, and then when we tap on an item, it doesn't look good. So we are missing some content, and more important, actually, we are missing the whole number. So the whole number is hidden by the hinge. So it's here where we should enhance our app in order to provide a better experience to our users. And so new form factors are already here, and more that are coming. So it's something that is going to be here to stay. So it's now, I think I believe that it's really the correct time to start thinking about how to do small enhancements, small work, not a lot of work, in order to provide our users a better experience. And so it's now when we are going to show you that. So as you can see here, this doesn't look good. We go back, we tap on an item again, and we are missing information. So okay, now we are going to work on how to enhance this super basic, simple app designed for single screen modes, single screen devices to dual screen devices. Okay, how we can do that? This is easy. So I have another screen with some the dependencies that I need to use in order to be able to use the library, the Surface Duo layout that we are going to use. So what I'm going to do then is copy and paste. So we go here to the root build Gradle, here. And what we do then is just to, everything is in our doc, so don't try to memorize what I'm going to do now, the new repository, everything is in our docs, so you can go there and then use it from there. So here what we do then is just to add our repository, our artifact repository. So here, just we declare that, we sync. We are working also on different, we are currently working on different ways to provide you better, better way artifacts, and soon we will have more news about a lot of work that we are doing regarding libraries, regarding artifacts, regarding many things. Okay, so we have sync, fine. Okay, now it's turn to go to build Gradle, to the app build Gradle, and it's here where we are going to add our Surface Duo layout library. That is the one that is going to allow us to enhance our app super easy, super fast. You will see. Okay, we implement, we add the dependency, dual screen layouts, 1.0 alpha 2, and then we sync. Okay, now it's fine, everything sync, everything. Okay, now it's time that we start to do some work here. Okay, so before, as you saw here, we have the main activity where we just, we were replacing the fragment container view for the fragment that we created, the items list fragment. Easy. Okay, we go here, and then the main change that we are going to do is basically, instead the fragment container view that we were using is just using our Surface Duo layout. We are not doing anything else. We just replace one view for the other. We keep the same ID, layout width, layout height, the same. We don't do anything else. That's all. Okay. And then it's here. I'm going to close actually everything, so then we have less noise. And then I open the main activity again. Okay. Before, when we were launching the app enters here, no, the flow, and then we begin the transaction, and then we were replacing the container for the item list fragment. This is good when we are in single screen mode. We launch the app, it's just one, we want to show just one fragment, one layout. But when our app is in span mode, when our app is here in this mode, as you can see here in the Surface Duo emulator, with the Surface Duo layout, what we can do is to provide one layout for the left screen, another layout for the right screen, and even if we want also a different layout for single screen mode. We can do this with layouts, or we can do also as well with fragments. With layouts, we saw it quickly in our previous session. That is super simple, super easy to do. With fragments, but with fragments, we want to do it now in live coding. So then you have now the two different ways to use that Surface Duo layout, directly with layouts or with fragments. Okay. So then what we are going to do, we already have replaced the fragment container view for our Surface Duo layout. And then what we are going to do now is to use the layout. How we can use the layout? The Surface Duo layout, now we don't have to access directly to the fragment container. Now, the Surface Duo layout has these two attributes, first container ID and second container ID. The first container ID is the one that is going to be used when our app is in single screen mode. When our app is in span mode, it will take the first container ID for the start screen and then the second container ID for the end screen, for the right screen. So now we, instead of fragment container, we use first container ID, and then with the item list fragment, I'm fine. Okay, so we are fine if we are working in a single screen device because the app launches and then we show the item list fragment. But what does it happen when we launch the app in span mode? Here, what we were doing is basically the same. So we have just the first container ID. So in span mode, we are just going to show here this item list fragment. So what we want to do is also to show here the detail view fragment. So how we can do it? Super easy. So the Surface Do layout also has, is backed by all our core library, that it has also some functions that provide you different information about the device that is really useful. So to access to that information, or at least the information that we are going to use today, is we use a screen helper, and then as you can see here, we have some functions highlighted in bold. One is dual mode. So this function actually is what we are going to use, because it's going to tell us if the app is running in dual mode or in single screen mode. We have also is Surface Duo, get current rotation, the hinge, the screen rectangles, the window rect, and so on. So, okay, so important for now is just is dual mode. We pass the context, the activity context, and that's all. Okay, so this if statement is going to enter here if we are in span mode. Otherwise, in single screen mode, we just replace the first container ID for the item list fragment. So for your better understanding, we can do this single screen mode. And now what we do here is support fragment manager, begin transaction, and then replace. We replace first the first container, the first container ID for the with the items list fragment, and then also we replace the second container ID with the detail view fragment. Okay, and then we just commit the transaction. So also for your understanding, dual mode spanner. Okay. So what it means? It means if we launch the app in single screen mode, we will just replace the first container ID with the item list fragment. If we are in span mode, the first container ID will contain the item list fragment, and the second container ID, this container, will contain the detail view fragment. That's all from this side. And now, I believe one last thing that we have to do is just here in the on-click listener before. So this function is going to be invoked when the user taps on an item. And what it does is replace one fragment for the other, no? But we don't want to do that. We want to do that in single screen mode, but we don't want to do that in dual screen mode. So for that, what we do is basically the same check that we have done before. Screen helper is dual mode. This is not dual mode. So here, single, just for single screen mode. So if it's not dual screen mode, then the on-click functionality, it still works. And then I believe that's everything that we have to use for this in order to enhance the app. So let's see.
Also, we renamed the ID.
Oh, thank you, Bianca. Thank you. First container ID, exactly as Bianca has said. Now we are not using the fragment container directly anymore. We use its first container ID. So here we replace that, and then now we run multiple devices. Okay, it's launching. Okay, so we have the app. It looks, in theory, good. So in single screen mode, so we have here, we tap on an item, number 2, we go back, number 6. Oh, now the emulator is doing some glitches when I do this, like this. Okay, number 5, number 3, fine. It works as before. So as you can see here, it works like the same. No, nothing changed UI looks the same, behavior looks the same. If we do the same test in our Surface Duo emulator, we tap on an item, number 2, number 6, fine, number 4, fine, okay. And now when we expand the app, is the real test. Let's see. We expand the app. And now we have what we were saying. No, we have the item list in one side, and then the detail view in the other side, following the list detail dual screen pattern. So if we tap on an item, number 6, the detail view changes. Number 4, number 7, number 2, number 4, number 5, and then we go back to single screen mode. Also, left screen or right screen is exactly the same. And then number 6, number 7, we go here, number 7, number 7. Okay, so we can do definitely some improvements here in terms of highlighting the item that has been shown. As you can see here, this is not a really amazing experience, no? I mean, we were tapping before in an item, so I do here this number 5, and then I go to in expand mode, and we are not highlighting the item 5. We can do this actually pretty quickly, also taking advantage of the Serve View model. So here the thing is, we are not keeping track of the position. So that's the reason that we are not highlighting the position. So, but we can do that using our Serve View model. So what we can do is then selected item position, table, live data, item, okay, and then perfect, and then here in the items view adapter, we had this. We don't need this anymore. That was just operating locally, and what we have now is Serve View model, selected item position, value. We pass the position now, and then Serve View model, select item position, value as is complaining because it's expecting an integer. So what we do here is integer, and then we are fine to go, I believe. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Perfect. So there is a. Oh no, sorry, no, this is not. I don't know if I have an error. No. Yeah, select item position. Oh. No, it's not item. Apologies, it's an integer. Oh, exactly. We are keeping the position, so the position is an integer. So now, exactly, now the casting makes sense because exactly. So blah blah blah. Okay, okay. So now, if we run the app, we should be able. I just now going to run in the Surface Duo emulator. And with this small change, we should be able, if I'm not wrong, to keep the track of the position. Oh, no. Oops. Items adapted. Position int. Value position. Okay, exactly. We have to give a value. We have to initialize the item. So init, then we are going to select item position value with -1. Okay. And then I think we're fine. Okay, the app looks good. So we tap on the item 6, and now if we expand the app, since we are now tracking the position, the item should be highlighted. Exactly, the item is now highlighted. So the experience that we offer to our users is much better. No, it's like, for instance, the experience that you can see in Outlook, that you open the email in the spam mode, and you have highlighted your email, and then the detailed view of that email where you can follow the thread. And we change the items, so exactly we keep track of them. We, for instance, number 3, we go to single screen mode. Here make no sense, is highlighted as well. We could do here, if we don't want this, for instance, it's kind of odd. What we can do here is, since items adapter, just change the background if we are in dual screen mode. So in dual screen mode, view, context, and then now we should be able to get rid of that. So we provide now a much better experience, because it's odd, no, that there is a highlighted an item when you are in single screen mode. It's like the app is like in a weird state, no? So it's better if we do here. So like this, we do expand the app, item 6, the item is highlighted, item 4, item is highlighted. We go back to single screen mode, and no item highlighted. Fine. If we go back, we haven't clicked anything, but I believe was the item 4, so the item 4 should be highlighted. Fine. So then we provide a really good user experience to our users. And think that this review model is something that it can be for you or not. This is completely, I would say, an adjacent improvement of what we have done. So to recap, I would like to highlight that the change that we have done in order to enhance our app, so forget about this highlighting here that we were using the review model, was basically, we were here to the main activity, we just replaced the fragment view container for our Surface Duo layout, and then was here, we were saying, if it's a span mode, please use first container ID with item list fragment, second container ID with detail view fragment. If you are in a single screen mode, just use item list fragment, and then here in the item list fragment, just use the on-click listener as you were using before. And that's all. So super simple change, super basic, but it offers us like a lot of power, no, in order to adjust our UIs. And also it's super simple. If you want to do this manually, no, in code, it's more work. It's more work that the one that you have to do. So that's the reason that we are working. We already have released a few libraries in order to help you, but also we're working on new content, also new updates, and so on. Okay, and now the last thing I wanted to show you, and I think we are very good on time, I believe, is to how to create dual screen test. So how we can test our UI that works well when the app is in dual screen mode. Okay, how we can do that? For that, what I'm going to do basically, so I'm going again, as I did before, I'm going to copy and paste some dependencies that I'm going to use. That is basically UI Automator and Espresso dependencies. So I'm going to the app build Gradle, and here I copy and paste those libraries, those dependencies. They are useful for testing, and we are going to use it. I'm syncing now. Okay, I believe everything is fine now. Okay, so now what we are going to, I'm going to dismiss this pop-up. What I'm going to do now then is to create the, apologies, I'm going to create then the dual screen test class, dual screen test, okay, public, oh, that's public, class, dual screen test. Okay, and here what we are going to do, so this is going to run with the Android JUnit for Android 4 JUnit. 1 second, I capture I always forget exactly about the name, and sometimes here in testing, I don't know for some reason, but my auto-completion doesn't work. So Android JUnit for class runner, perfect. Class, perfect. Okay. Now, in order to launch the main activity when we run the test, we are going to create then an activity rule. So like here, rule, and then val, private, val, activity rule, and activity test rule with the main activity. And then it was main activity class Java. Okay, fine. Yeah, I know that it's deprecated, and now there are like a new thing. But for our testing purposes, it is more than enough the activity rule. Okay, so okay, now what we do here then is to start the test. We are going to implement then a test. Okay, test, then fun, dual screen UI should be as as expected. Okay. Okay, azul looks better. Okay, perfect. So now the main thing, and actually if you attended our previous session, when we talk, the slide where we talk about UI testing, the main thing here in order to do dual screen testing is just how to span and unspan an app. This is the only specific thing that we have to do. Apart of that, your current knowledge about Espresso, UI Automator, or other frameworks is more than enough to do tests. Because at the end, what you are going to test using, for instance, in our case, Espresso, is just you are going to test views. You are going to test that the UI looks as expected, that the content that you are showing to your users is what you expect, no? What it should be. So for that, we are not doing anything new. Espresso was perfect for that. But the only thing that we want to show you and that we need to do in order for to implement dual screen test is how to span and expand the app. How to do this interaction and span, or how to do this interaction span. This is the only thing that the main thing that we are going to see in this part of the workshop. Okay, how we can do that? We can do it actually pretty easily. So what we can do is using device UI is using UI Automator. UI Automator, what it has is you can create an instance of a UI device. Actually, I'm going to call it the same UI device. That then you are able to interact with the device. So, and in our case, what we want to do is to perform a swipe action with our app, and UI Automator is going to be able to do that for us. So, okay, and then I think it was instrumentation registry. I always forget about that. Instrumentation registry. Get instrumentation. Okay, perfect. Okay, now we have UI device ready, and now it's time to create the function that will span our app. For that, we span app, we create a function that we will use it, and then basically what we do is invoke this swipe function from UI Automator. We just provide a set of coordinates and also a set of steps. The steps is the time that is going to take, that the interaction is going to take. You can do it faster, you can do it slower. So we just do this, and then I'm going to copy and paste the parameters of the coordinates because I don't have in my mind right now. So please don't try to remember that. We have everything in our docs, and actually we have even more docs regarding this. We have there how to unspan an app from left side, from right side, how to unspan an app from the middle to the, from span to the left, to the right, how to move one app from one side to the other, and so on. So we just provide these coordinates, the x, the y, so start x, start y, and x and y, and the steps. That this is 400, I believe, is around 2 seconds, something like that. That is the time that our spanning interaction is going to take. If you are wondering if, actually this is an important point, if you didn't attend our previous session and you are wondering why we need to do this swipe interaction in order to expand or to expand an app, it's because there is not a way to expand the app by code. The user is always in control, so user is the one that with its manual interaction expand apps. We are always thinking and working on things, on improvements in the framework, in the OS, and maybe we can revisit that in the future. But right now, for Surface Duo, this is what it is. So there is not an API to expand and expand. But it's good for us that for UI testing, we have UI device, UI automator, and it's going to help us to do that. If you want to do this through the terminal, you also can use ADB commands, and they work as well. And actually, I believe with the same coordinates or very similar, or I think the same coordinates, but different time, different steps. Okay, span up, just one up. Okay, perfect. So then first thing that we are going to do then is call our span up function. And then what we do here is just to use the code, the code for the dual screen test. So I have here actually a note because I don't have the everything that we need to do it, but basically what we do, our goal is going to be, so we expand the app, and then we test that the first container is shown, the second container is shown, we tap on an item, and we check that the item is, the information of the item in the detail view fragment is the expected. This is what our test is going to be. Okay, so then espresso on view, and then we are going to do here view matches with ID. And then here ID, first container ID, and then oops, and then check. Sorry. Then here check. Oops. Matches. View assertions. Matches. View matches is display. Okay. We have one. We can do the same for the second container. Second container. Exactly the same. We check that the second container is displayed. Okay. First part of the test is done. Now what we want to do is to tap on an item. So for that, I do espresso on view, view matches with ID, R, ID, these items, that is the recycler view. And then, oops, and then performs recycler view actions, action on item, action on item, action item. This is a item view holder, and then here what we do is just tapping on the specific item that we want. So here is view matches has the standard view matches with ID with text. Sorry, with text, because we are going to tap on an item with a specific string. So this is number 2. Okay, and then view actions. Okay. Okay, we have clicked on an item, and now in theory our item is shown. So okay, yeah. And now what we do is check that the content that is in the detail view is what we expect. So what we do then is espresso on view, all of this view matchers, then with ID, in the ID detail number, we check that view matchers is display. No, all of detail view number with text. We check the text with text true. Sadly, true is the content that should be in the detail view in the number text view. And then we do here dot check view assertions matches view matchers is display. Okay, I believe I'm going to put it better here. Okay, I believe it's fine. So allow with ID detail number with text true detail number check matches is displayed. Okay, and then we are going to copy and paste the same because basically it's the same for the detail body. And then here will be this is number 2. Okay, and I believe we are fine to go. So as you can see here, we are going to expand the app. You will see how we automatically expand the app. Then we check the first container is displayed. We check the second container is displayed. We then tap on the list items on the item that has the text, this is number 2. So this is number 2. And then once that we have tapped on the item, what we do is exactly on the detail number, we check that it has the text 2 and match it and is displayed. And the same for the detail body, this is number 2, is displayed. Okay, let's see if it works. Oh, apologies. Okay. I think here is a problem with it. I think. Exactly. I think it was that. Hopefully. Okay. Now it works. We expand the app automatically using UI Automator, and now we are going to tap on an item and green. So it works. So as you can see, we can run it again. But basically what we do is what we have said. We expand the app, we test that our UI in dual screen mode is as we expect. So in the right side, we have the fragment, the second container, we have the content, that's all. If we would like to then to test to single screen mode again, we unexpand the app. Please check our docs for that, for the different coordinates and time. And then we just test that the app looks well in single screen device. So with this, we have finished the workshop. This is everything that we wanted to show you as an extra recap. I would like to highlight that if you forget about how we implemented the simple app, that actually was what took us most of the time to implement the app. So we wanted also to show you how or to drive you when implementing the app, because then you know the code is, to me, actually, when I see a workshop and already has a lot of code already implemented that we don't see, it's kind of difficult to follow, no? So for that reason, we wanted to just have the recycler view, that this is, you are tired of implementing that every day, and then just the specific stuff that we were going then later to enhance, no? The main activity, the item list fragment, the detail view fragment, the serve view model in order to share data, and finally the UI test. So as I said before, extra recap will be basically in order to enhance this app, will be just using our Surface Duo layout and then defining how the app is going to be launched in single screen mode, how the app is going to be launched in dual screen mode with using the containers, and basically that's all. If you have something like, for instance, here, this on-click listener that should work just in single screen mode, you can grab with a screen helper. Of course, this is a workshop, this is a sample. Definitely having a lot of code with this check is really ugly. So there are different ways that you could follow to avoid that check, that if every time, no? So, but now it's time to you to adjust this, what we have explained here, to your own app. And that's all from our side. I don't know if we have questions or if we have now questions at the end. So yeah, now I believe we have still time. So please go ahead. Did we have questions during the workshop, Bianca? No?
No, there are no questions.
Okay, then it means that I am very good speakers and I speak slowly. I did my best and everybody understood everything correctly. We have our GitHub repo already and ready for you to visit, to play with, clone it, play with that. If you have questions, definitely, of course, we still have time, so please ask questions now. But just to make time, we have a lot of different channels that we can follow up with you. Twitter, our technical forum. We post blog posts, so you can even replay our blog posts, or many ways. So we are always open to hear from you, even to work with you. If you are working on an app and you need help from our side, from the DevX team, the Surface Duo DevX team, please let us know and we will make our best to work with you and to enhance the app. To get feedback from you, because for us it's also super important to get feedback from you, as we got feedback from other partners that we work for launch. So, and we are currently working also. So yeah, please let us know any questions or any comment that you can have. Okay, so we don't have questions. If you have also questions or use the Talk platform, to talk to us as well. We are here, and we can connect even with you also tomorrow. So the Talk platform is always open already for attendees and speakers. So yeah, please feel free to reach out also there if you want. And that's all from our side, I believe, right, Bianca?
Yes, thank you all very much.